that's how we're here with this knowledge-aware thing and this OROS thing. OROS is the implementation of the knowledge-aware concepts, right? So Six Sigma is a concept, lean engineering is a concept, and there's implementation of those things. Knowledge-aware is the concept. It's new, it's different, it's not what people are used to, and it deserves to be treated independently like that. Okay, so we believe fundamentally that there's a shift, and it's happening regardless of OROS existing. The shift is towards this from passive to active, because actively managing knowledge can solve a wide range of problems caused by lack of knowledge reuse, okay? It's a huge and broad problem. In looking out across the faces here, I can think of so many different use cases, even within single organizations, where the application of this technique is extremely broad. The second part of it is once you have the knowledge properly encapsulated, we need to be able to provision. We need to have that first step of flowing into the flow of work. So this is just a graphical representation of what we mean. There's different domains of people who know stuff or learning stuff. What they need to know is represented as knowledge packets, those little jacks looking things, and they are provisioned intelligently into the flow of work so that only what's needed to be known is known at the time it needs to be known. And you're not sifting through, searching for, missing what needs to be known, and providing a very robust means of communication of expertise.
Prior to Knowledge Aware, most of the issues were caught when they had physical parts. So once they adopted the Knowledge Aware technique and captured that knowledge and was able to provision it further upstream and use that knowledge actively, they were able to capture most of their issues in the digital space prior to physical parts. And each of those little humps actually represent different milestones, and that's part of that graph. But this is very significant, right? So this is a huge, not only cost save, but time save, and it's just general goodness for the organization that adopts the knowledge-aware approach.
If you looked at all the product engineering K-packs, the tooling K-packs, and the process K-packs, and when they're applied, our product engineering K-packs, which is the fundamental performance requirements of our product, were used 4 out of the 5 process steps. And we didn't have the same requirements before OROS in all 5 of those different process steps. So this was surprising for me to see this. And now we have consistent requirements all through our process. We can see how we're performing against those requirements and have real discussions about gaps and how we want to resolve those gaps. We have automatic communication set up, so when there is something that's flagged as a failure in our PAC4 audits, we have our quality folks and our supervisors automatically get an email saying that there's a failure. So live feedback is extremely important. So better visibility in the back end and then better visibility on the front end of our performance. So now we can use our look across function on any K-pack requirement.
Okay, so how do you go about going from that to plugging this into OROS, using OROS, okay, to say, okay, well, I've got data in there, but how can I have that responsibility assignment, that visual? So it's not just a one-shot deal. We can actually use this later to manage. So you obviously have to create your COP, you have to create your K-packs, and then you can easily display the K-packs using the RASIC format. That's going to be the 3 main points of this presentation.
The objective of our project is to automate the provisioning of information and knowledge to each step of the ship design process as the engineer progresses through the flow of work. We are converting the shipyard technical memory into different K-packs. We've also got a separate task where we're looking at industry standards, which will be incorporated into K-packs. We kind of jump down to the bottom before I go to the middle one. And that's then integrating it into the shipyard's workflow and preparing the knowledge delivery system for the shipyards.
It all started really four years ago. BorgWarner has a bi-yearly survey which asks all engineers and employees, how is our culture doing? The points that came out is that our PDP process, PDP meaning product development process, was thought by the engineers to be too bureaucratic, too disjointed. A lot of work that was done without any value add, and the knowledge did not flow from location to location as well as it could have. The design guides were difficult to find, were difficult to understand, especially for people who didn't speak the English language. So that was one of the main motivators for this project. And of course, the second one was, which is endemic to the way we are, so spread out, is to foster knowledge, sharing, and growth. The fact that we are so spread out creates not a lot, but it creates a logistical hurdles, but at the same time can be a very powerful advantage because we've got ears and eyes everywhere in the globe. Joe and Nat and the rest of the team looked at a lot of software that was out there. These is all the ones I looked at, and they follow a very rigorous process. So these are the finalists. One of the main reasons that they chose Oreos was that the ease with which we were able to bring knowledge to bear on our projects. So that it would help and guide the engineer going through his activity and his projects. So this was one of the main reasons. Another reason was that once you had enough projects in the database or the module, you were able to do the opposite. So you were able to go and look how well is your knowledge serving your projects. And so you were able to keep updated that knowledge and always fresh and make it grow, as was one of the objectives. So this ability to bring knowledge to bear on the project and then to improve the knowledge based on our experiences with the projects was one of the big drivers for deciding to use Oreos. So now Oreos has become, for these 220 people, very in a way very intimate with the way they work, because they will use it every day as they go through their activities, engineering activities.